Welcome to Beyond Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Petralis, and we are super excited for today's guest. As you guys may remember from our social media, if not, I'll remind you here. We have teamed up with Medford Hockey with coaches and teams, and we're providing an opportunity. Us in Jim's Market, one of the best breakfast sandwiches on the planet. They're B-boys. We do a lot of work with them, but as a fixture in Medford, if if you're from Medford, you know Jim's Market. But teaming up with them, and we're giving the opportunity for any kids that score a hat trick to come on this podcast to talk about it a little bit, and to recognize them. Scoring a hat trick's not easy. 3 goals, no matter how you do it, is not easy. And doing that in a game is an accomplishment. So we want to recognize that. And we have our first guest on here today. She scored a hat trick, did it with ease. What's crazy is, honestly, before I introduce you, there were so many. Like the first week, there were like 6 kids who got hat tricks. Now I was anticipating maybe a couple a month, but just playing hockey, it's not as common. We'll talk about it that happened, but 6 in a week was like, okay, here we go, like right away. So we got some goal scorers here. But without further ado, guys, Samantha Anderson, welcome.
Hi.
So Samantha is, like I said, she scored a hat trick here. And she did it with ease. So we'll kind of jump into that, Samantha. So I know we talked off air a little bit. This isn't your first hat trick, but this is a big hat trick to get because you kind of kicking the festivities off. People are going to be watching this, listening. I mean, no pressure, but they're going to be listening to this, being like, "What is this podcast going to be like?" Going on and talking about it. But I'm a lifelong hockey guy. People associate me with football, but hockey is secretly, quietly, my favorite sport. And I love it. So let's start off with a little bit of who you are, and let's talk about your hat trick a little bit. Who was it against? How'd it go? Things like that.
Cool. We were playing Framingham, and um, it, all my goals were in the second period, and we were down 1-0, and we had a power play, and the center Grace won the faceoff back to my D partner, and she passed it down to the wing on the hash marks, and I was just a little bit below the blue line, and there was a bunch of girls out front screening, and the goalie couldn't see, so
Are you known for a rocket shot? Are you known to kind of have a harder
yeah,
shot? Was that a wrist shot? Or was it a slap shot from the point?
it was a wrist shot.
Okay, wrist
It
shot.
went
So
right over her left pad.
all right. So you put the first one in. I mean, when you score a goal, you never think oh man, I'm going to score a hat trick, or oh man, I'm going to score
Yeah.
another one. But it feels good getting that goal because obviously your confidence goes up a little bit. You have a little bit more confidence with the puck on your stick, and shooting on net. And you just kind of at that point being like, I scored one, I could score another.
Yeah.
How quickly was your second goal compared to your first goal? Was next shift, or was it later in the period?
It was 5 shifts later, I think.
Okay,
Um,
so fairly probably halfway, a little more
yeah.
halfway into the period. I mean, you're a defenseman. I mean, do you score a lot as a person who plays defense,
Um,
or
I'd say yeah, I score a little more than, the usual
now is
defense
that because you're
number.
carry the puck up a lot, or you just have a shot from the
Yeah,
point? Yeah.
yeah, I
Okay.
like to skate it.
There you go. That's great. That's like a Charlie McAvoy of your
Yeah.
team right there. That's great. I mean, talking about that defensively, before we jump into your third goal, and I just threw Charlie McAvoy out there. Is there somebody defense person wise like you? Choosing defense, I mean, offense. Actually, hold on. Let's talk about your goal first because I'm going to get off on a tangent here, and I want to miss on your third goal. Your third goal, you scored. So you scored, halfway through the second period to maybe a little bit more than that. So you didn't have a lot of time with that last goal. So how did that last goal go? Was it a sweet goal? It was one of those freak
Um,
goals that just happened to slip in. You got the hat trick.
so it was, the other team was trying to get it out of their zone, and my D partner, Abby, stepped up and, blocked the wing from getting anywhere, and the puck, came out of the zone, and there was, nobody around me, so I, grabbed it and then, skated it down and just scored.
So you're scary. I mean, you're a scary player to go against in the sense of when you have a puck control and defense person coming up, and being able to kind of skate and go deep into the zone. I mean, makes it a 4-on-3, maybe a 4-on-2, depending on how you're really breaking into the zone. I mean,
Yeah.
that's an added weapon and bonus, and that seems to be your type of game. Is your coaches confident with you doing that? Do they give you the freedom to do that a lot? You
Yeah.
just kind of
Yeah.
feel it out as you go.
They my coach Dana, he likes and tells me to skate it a lot.
How is Coach Dana? Because I love Coach Dana. I met Coach Dana through this podcast, like truthfully, and South Medford guys maybe knew each other here and there, really, but not really till this podcast that him and I started clicking. I covered him at Salem State and like what a pro coach he
Mm.
was there.
Oh yeah.
And then I know I just follow him on Instagram. I mean, he's all about coaching, all about hockey, loves it. I mean, great dad, great coach. I mean, playing for a guy like that is that kind of cool?
Yeah, he's a great coach. He like works us hard and but has fun. We have fun with it, and we learn something new every practice from him. And he like tells us how to. He doesn't like yell at us how to fix plays, but he'll like teach us and want us to get better.
I mean, he's also kind of a scary looking dude, right? Like Dana's the nicest human being in the world, but when you
He's the
meet
best.
Dana, you're just like, holy
Yes.
cow, this guy, I don't
Yeah.
want to say even look at this guy the wrong way, right? I mean, but you can see that obviously he's a great coach. He's like I said, he's a dad, so he understands. And just talking to him about hockey, it's like how I talk about football with other people. It's just like he's so passionate and you can just like see how
Yeah.
much it means to him and so on. I mean, scoring a hat trick's really cool, and obviously that's why you're on here. But I'm interested more about you a little bit. You're a freshman in high school. When I asked you off here if you ever scored a hat trick before, you said this wasn't your first time. So being a person that plays defense, that's pretty impressive on its own. Is hockey something that you see yourself wanting to play collegiately? Are you looking at that yet? I
Yes.
mean, usually
Yeah.
people who play a couple teams or select teams, that's kind of in their future, or at least that's what they want to be in their future. Do you
Mhm.
see that for yourself?
Yeah. I've been talking to a few prep schools and hopefully that college is in the future after that.
Okay, now I'll go back to what I was going to originally ask you before I kind of almost cut off your hat trick story. Is there a player that you emulate your game around? Becoming, like I said, becoming someone who plays defense. I mean, in any sport, it's always offense, offense, offense. No matter what the sport
Mhm.
is, kids want to be the ones who score and or get a touchdown, or whatever. But to choose defense, I mean, that's kind of a different type of animal. I mean, I think defensive skaters are the best skaters in hockey because you have to be able to turn your body quickly, get
Yeah.
into your 3 or 4 strides, almost be at full speed backwards.
Mhm.
And then obviously playing physically, against teams that break out or break in or whatever it is. So, yeah, for you, is there someone who you watch and you're just like, this is who I want to play like, this is who I want to
Um,
be?
in the PWHL, I like watching Taylor Heisey from the Boston team.
Yeah.
I think.
Did you go to any
Oh
games?
yeah. Yeah, we went to a few of the playoff games. It was really good games.
So what about her game, do you feel as though that you just, like, love or just as a person that you love?
I don't know. I like how she takes her time and makes good passes and like is confident and skates it if she has the room.
Yeah, it's kinda cool because we covered, like, the Mass Pirates indoor football team this year,
Mhm.
and their home games were at the Saugus Arena, the same place that the PWPHA, right? I say that right?
Mhm.
Close enough anyways.
Yeah.
But they play there a lot, so it was kinda cool when they were kinda taking the field apart and putting the rink, like, right together
Oh yeah.
because it was a game the very next day. And I knew that they did really well just because from being there, you could see. And we actually went to a few games ourselves. And it was cool. It was cool when they both had a game the same day and kind of seeing how they
Mhm.
changed the field and so on. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
fundamentals. So it was fun. Um, but that's great to hear. And obviously, you're a student too. Ninth grader, you've gone to school.
Mhm.
Is there a favorite subject you have? I'm a teacher, so I'm going to ask you a little bit of school
Um,
questions here. Is there a favorite
it
subject you have?
it kind of changes every year, but so far my favorite this year is math.
There we go, math. What do you love? I teach math, my favorite subject to teach. Kids come in hating math, and I promise them that it's not their favorite subject at the end of the year, but it won't be their least favorite subject. And
Yeah.
I take pride in that. I love math. What is it about math you love so much?
I don't know. I just
Is it just easy to you?
yeah, it's just easy this year, I guess, and I
Yeah.
understand everything.
Is there a favorite like all-timer teacher that you've had over the years? Someone that like stands out to you? Could be elementary
Um,
school, whatever that you just love to
in
have, or
COVID, there's 2. Miss LD, she was my 3rd grade teacher. And then in COVID, it was kinda like a weird year, so in 5th grade, my favorite teacher was Miss Burke. She just made it fun and helped
here's a
us.
couple really parallels here, okay? First of all, I'm a 5th grade teacher. So I find that really interesting. Your favorite fifth grade teacher. It says a lot about fifth grade teachers.
Mhm.
Two, like the favorite teacher at my school is a third grade teacher. Her name's Miss Burke. So I just kind of find that funny, just kind of throwing those parallels out there a little bit. But that's awesome. And like you mentioned, like obviously favorite subject, favorite school class that you have in school. I mean, talk about because you obviously play for a school that you go to, but you play for a lot of teams outside there. For you, is hockey like a year-round thing? Like, are you just kind of nonstop?
Yes.
But did you play any other sports, or is it just hockey, hockey, hockey?
Last this year I started playing lacrosse to try and find just another sport to play other than hockey because
Yeah.
that's all I played. And
Do you find
yeah,
that? Like, how do you find that transition for yourself?
um,
Because
it
it's gonna
was
be a little
different.
similar, right? It's gonna be similar in some
Yeah,
ways. Some ways.
yeah, it was obviously like the skating and running was different,
Yeah.
but
Were you
yeah, I
playing
liked it.
defense?
No, I played attack.
Oh, okay. So one half of the field. All right, okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, just I'm asking you just because this is kind of a deeper question, but do you feel like playing lacrosse for a year offensively at all like helped you out hockey wise? Like, is there anything that you say you could pull
Um,
from lacrosse, a skill, something that maybe you just got a little bit better or more confident at in the world of hockey?
like my footwork and I feel like it helped me the running helped me get faster on the ice.
And I think that's great. I mean, it sounds like you're obviously a good athlete. How tall are you?
5'10".
Yeah, so you're tall, huh? Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, no wonder why schools are knocking on your door. That makes perfect sense. So, that's awesome. I mean, that's really
Mhm.
cool to hear. I mean, Coach Dina definitely bragged about you and talked very highly of you. And now to hear and see you in person, this is great. I mean, the first person to win this challenge and do it.
Yeah,
But now the main thing is obviously you got to come on this podcast, and that's kind of cool in its own right. But have you ever had a breakfast B-boy before from Jim's Market? Have you
I
ever
have
had a
not.
sandwich? Okay. Has
No, I
Coach
have
Dina told you about a B-boy at all?
a little bit, but
Okay. I mean, the B-boys are like the best breakfast sandwiches you could ever have. It's a phenomenon where we live. Everybody gets them. They're open at 5 in the morning. They make I'm not even joking when I say this, probably between 500 to 1,000, and they're
oh my
gone quickly. Like they're
wow.
gone quickly. But it is like the size of a sub, and you can have so
Ooh,
many different variations of it. Coach Gene has got to get you one. He's got to bring one
yeah,
to a game for you. And yeah, you got to try it. We got to get a review on video. You
yes,
got to review it for
yeah,
us and let us know how you
yes.
like it. But I promise you, it is worth the anticipation. I am not hyping it up and it's gonna
Okay,
let it down. It's hype that's real. It's real hype. Okay.
okay.
But in all seriousness, you should be really proud of yourself. This is a great accomplishment in the game of hockey. No matter how you score a hat trick or when you score it, a hat trick's a hat trick. And did your team win that game?
Yes, we did 4-1.
Okay, so I mean, you were the difference. You were the
Yeah,
difference, right? Um, But you should be really proud of yourself. It's a great accomplishment. And obviously, you're a young athlete. This is what this podcast covers. We cover young high school kids, even collegiate athletes that are looking to take that next step in their playing career and to see how hard you're working. And obviously, schools are interested in you. And I can see why, just from a personality standpoint alone, they'll definitely be interested in you once they start really talking to you. But obviously, your game speaks for itself, which is great. So, we wish you all the best. If there's any highlights,
thank you.
film, anything that you have that you want to send
Mhm.
our way, we can most certainly throw it out on our story and throw it out on our social media accounts, hype you up, tag whoever you want into it. We can do
Okay.
that. So whatever we can do for you. And if you score another hat trick, you're back on here. So
Yeah,
there's always that goal too
yes.
of getting
Yeah,
back on here.
definitely.
But we do appreciate your time. And like I said, anything that we can do for you, we definitely will. Congrats on an awesome accomplishment and best of
Thank
luck
you.
the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So from Beyond Podcast, guys, I'm your host, Anthony Petralis. Till next time, Samantha, hang on. I'm going to shut us off here, and then you and I will chit chat for a minute, okay? All right, guys, till next time.